Oh shoot. Good morning, look above earth, welcome back. Welcome to week 2. Looks like we made it. So I don't know where you're watching this from, but if you're anywhere near New York, you know that it has been phenomenal outside. It has been like 60, 70 degree weather. It's been amazing. And if I didn't believe how weather affected mood before, I definitely believe that now. But anyway, we're here week 2, here for our second challenge in the month of March in the year of 2021, and yeah, let's get started. So the other day I was on a walk with my friend and we were having this pretty awesome conversation just about, like, I guess things that we all go through as people. While we were on this walk, I feel like the title of this video just came to mind. And so just to start with that, we're gonna title this one Chasing Euphoria. Now the reason I feel like that popped into my head was because we kept talking about how we as people, or like I found examples in my own life about how I almost always chase instant gratification opposed to, you know, just something that took a little longer to get. Recently I've seen it all over social media where you see things like trust the process, and I see things like this that make sense, and I'm just like, do I even believe that? And I say that because, you know, there are way too many examples in my life where I would just go the other way, and I'm gonna give you a good one later on, but just to preface, none of this doesn't mean you can't change it. That's why we're talking about it, because that's gonna be the challenge of the week. So just to bring all this into context and to kind of take it where I want it to go, we're gonna start with the story time. The other day, I was home, I walked into the kitchen because I was hungry, and it just so happened that to my left, there's a bag of chips. I was hungry. There's a bag of chips to my left, and to the right, there's the fridge. Food that I cooked the other day, banging, because now I'm getting into that. I'm sitting here in the middle of both of these options, and I'm like, I'm starving. What do? The chips are my favorite chips, and then to my right in the fridge is a real good meal that I cooked, but I would have to put it either on the stove or in the microwave for a few minutes, and it was going to take some time to make it. A little bit more effort too. Or I could just grab the bag of chips, literally take it to go, and just continue watching the show that I was watching. Options. Long story short, if it wasn't already obvious, I picked a bag of chips, and it was funny because I sat there after I was, you know, just munching away, and I was like, why did I do that? Like, I love how this tastes and I love everything, but it just doesn't feel as good as that meal that I could have had. And it got me thinking, how often in life do we just go ahead and pick the thing that's just so easy to grab in front of us, opposed to something that's going to take a little bit longer, or maybe sometimes a lot longer, but that we know it'd be way more fulfilling in the end of the day. I always tell people when I talk to them, there's a difference between a frozen pizza that hasn't been microwaved and a frozen pizza that's been microwaved for 2 minutes. One of those two things tastes real good, and the other one's just like, what the heck? But the same fact is that the frozen pizza is something you can have now, and the other one's gonna take maybe 2.5 minutes to make. Before I bring this back into a life thing, I wanted to read part of this book that I'm reading right now, and I feel like it has almost everything to do with what I want to talk about. The book I'm going to be reading from today is The Way of the Warrior by Erwin Mcmanus. If you're looking for a solid book to read that kind of just, like, I guess helps put a mirror in front of yourself so you can see yourself a little bit better, this is the way to go. Where we're going to be reading from today is from Code 4 or Chapter 4, and it's actually the very first few sentences, and it goes like this. The warrior cannot know their enemy if they don't know themselves. For the thousands of battles a warrior will face, their greatest battle comes when they truly see themselves. Now, the main reason I wanted to bring that up is simply because, like I said in a few videos ago, the only person that knows yourself the best is you. And so, the challenge for this week, it's actually quite simple, but it's going to be hard at the same time. There's obviously a goal that everyone has in mind, whether you want to just be spiritually stronger or you want to be, you know, stronger in any type of way, physically, whatever you want. Everyone has a goal. They're trying to reach this version of them that they believe to be the best version of them. And I believe you can do it. The only thing is, all of these things take a series of choices that we make that get us to where we want to be. If you want to become jacked, you have to work out I don't actually know, because I wouldn't have experience with that. If you want to become a good guitarist, because I have a little bit more experience with that, you would have to practice. Man, if you're putting in at least an hour or two a day, for a month, you would be so much better than the person who practiced once a month. And so it comes down to the real thing. In life, you're going to consistently come across a decision that you have to make between picking something that's going to be what I would call instant gratification versus something that's going to be what I would call long-term gratification, I guess. Something that's going to take a lot longer to create or make, or whatever the case may be. It's just going to take a lot longer than this option. But in the end of the day, I feel like the duration of the joy you feel with instant gratification goes as quick as you got it. If it was super easy to attain, then it's going to be super fast to disappear. Versus when it's something long-term and you had to build up to it, you had to just, whatever the case was, you had to climb a mountain to get up to the top. By the time you get up there, it was worth it. Every minute of it was worth it, and it's something that just lasts a lot longer than anything else. So the challenge this week for both myself and you, every time you come across a decision this week where you have to choose between instant gratification and or long-term gratification, try your absolute best to pick the long-term. But if you don't, go ahead and write it down. By the end of this week, for next week, when you look at that sheet of paper and all the specific decisions where you picked instant over the long term, just go ahead and ask yourself why. Doing this is going to be something that not only puts some of your issues on paper, but it helps you understand the reasoning behind why you do what you do. And if you can find out the reason for something, you can find your way out of it. Because now you can find a way to explain to yourself why A is going to be better than B, or why picking this is going to be better than picking that. And then the next time you face that decision, you're just going to be better prepared. So anyway, just like the first video, I would love to hear how your journey is going, and I wouldn't even mind sharing you mine. So down below is going to be the link for the Look Above Earth Instagram page where you can DM us, and my personal one right underneath, so you feel free to DM me too. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys next week, and hope you have a great day. See you next time. Peace.